If you do today what others don't, you will have tomorrow what others won't. Hi, I'm Dr. Ken, founder of Attract Freedom and creator of the Freedom Card. What I'm about to share with you today, some of you already know it. I want to talk to you about recreating reality. Some of you might know this intuitively, but as the saying goes, common sense is not always common practice. So I want you to keep an open mind, because in the next 15 minutes, some of the principles I want to share with you, you might know them already, but for others, there might be a revelation or some appreciation of a new way of looking at things. And this is what I need you to grasp, because if you want to grow in life, if you want to grow in your business, these are the type of principles that you need to grasp, that you need to have in your hands to make sure you can move to where you want to go. Who is Ken Ono? Yeah, I'm an ophthalmologist by profession and also a transformational speaker. And I've been doing this for many, many years. I'm into personal development and I have a huge passion. Just like I have a passion for ophthalmology and looking after people's eyes, I have a passion for looking after their lives. I have a passion to help people get their 2020 vision. And when you ask me what do, I tell you that I help people get 2020 vision on what matters most. I help them get clear and motivated on what matters most. So, let's get started. As I said before, some of the things I want to share with you, most of you might already know some of them, intuitively at least. And they say common sense is not always common practice. Why do I say that? We might know it, but because we know it does not mean that we do what we know. Are you with me here? We sometimes, just because we have a lot of knowledge is nothing without us being able to apply it and doing it over and over again. All you have to do is look at your results. Look at what you want in life and look at your results. Are you where you want to be? Look at your schedule and look at your goals. Are they in sync? If that's not happening, then you know that there's a lot more to learn where that came from. You might have heard from your parents, maybe from your peers, maybe from your teachers, people that influence you. But a lot of times, the things that we think we know, we do not know. So, keep an open mind. They say the mind is like a parachute. It only works when it is open. So you want to keep an open mind. Because if you don't keep an open mind and it closes down, you could miss a twist or a revelation or get some sort of appreciation for a new way of looking at things. Remember this, when you watch a movie and you're watching the movie for the second time, don't you see new things in that movie that you didn't see the first time around? Or when you're reading a book and you're reading it for the second time. That's why we always say you have to do the same thing over and over and over and over again until you perfect it. A lot of times when we are stuck, when we're frustrated, when we're depressed, when we're angry, we're staring at what I call brick walls. And brick walls are the things you see when you take your eyes off the goal. A lot of times these brick walls hold us back and they immobilize us and make sure that we cannot move forward. But we have to understand that it is not, those brick walls were there because it is all part of life. When you can embrace the concept of life being difficult, and I'd like to remind you of the book, an excellent book from N. Scott Peck, where in the first paragraph of his book he says, life is difficult. In other words, life is difficult, get used to it. When we understand that we're here in this world to embrace failure, we're here in this world to learn, we're here in the world to have challenges and to ride through challenges. When you have that understanding, then you know that everything that you have to do is easy. And everything that you have to do is going to come easier for you than what you normally would have expected. We go to school for 12 to 20 years, and when we come out of school, we still fail in our relationships, in our business enterprises, we fail in our finances, and we wonder, why did I go to school for so long? Because everything I learned in school did not prepare me for this situation or for where I am now. And understanding that is going to make a huge difference in how we move forward. And there are three things I want us to embrace. Number one is the fact that nothing changes until you change. So I want you to repeat that wherever you are. If you're watching me tell yourself in your mind and say it out loud, nothing changes until I change. Let me repeat that again. Nothing changes until I change. One more time. Nothing changes until I change. I love mantras, and a lot of times you're going to hear me repeat a word, and when I say it, I want you to say it out loud to yourself, because whatever you repeat becomes your reality. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But 3 things I want you to understand. Number 1, I want us to reframe the way we think. Number 2, to remember to embrace the enemy within us. And number 3, I'd like us to bring the right energy into any situation. All right? Those are the 3 things that I'm going to talk about today. So the first thing, reframing the way we think helps us to recreate our reality. And reframing the way we think is crucial. Did you know that we think over 60,000 thoughts a day? And some of the thoughts that we're thinking today are the same thoughts we thought yesterday, and most likely are going to be the same thoughts that we're going to think tomorrow. Now, if you think that is mind-boggling, 60,000 thoughts, that's what the experts say. And of those thoughts, 99.9% of them are usually negative. Thoughts of self-doubt, thoughts of failure, thoughts of never being good enough, and things like that. And if you remember that your thoughts lead to your emotions, and your emotions lead to the actions you take, and the actions you take lead to your results, which means your thoughts lead to your results, it's obvious to understand that if you keep thinking 60,000 times a day negatively, you're going to produce maybe, I don't know if it's going to be 60,000, but you're going to produce a lot of negative results. And if whatsoever you put in is what comes back out. Make sense? All right, stay with me here. So the limiting thoughts that we have is just the way we think about things. And all we have to understand is become aware. Awareness is looking at things from a 3,000-foot overview and seeing ourselves operating and practically writing the script all over again. And if we're going to write the script all over again, what we have to understand is that we have to then move away from limiting beliefs to emancipating truths. Let me repeat that. We're moving from limiting beliefs to emancipating truths. Instead of saying I can't, change your language to how can I? Instead of saying it's not possible, why don't we switch the language to it's not possible for me yet? I mean, just that little twist in the sentence can change everything in the way you look at things. Because you talk to yourself all the time. You're thinking 60,000 thoughts a day, you're talking to yourself over and over and over again. And like I said, when you think, whatever you think over and over again becomes your belief. And then your belief becomes a habit. It was Aristotle who said, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. So we need to create new habits. And those are the habits that are going to move us forward. So that was the first thing. Switch your thinking from limiting beliefs to emancipating truths. Then the second thing is there is an enemy within us. And that enemy is us. And if we don't understand that, we're never going to move forward. That enemy is us. Like I said, nothing changes until we change. Nothing changes until you change. And say it with me, nothing changes until I change. You may know this story already, and I'm going to repeat it just to emphasize what I want to say next. And that is the story of the Cherokee chief. The Cherokee chief was with his grandson under a tree, I believe, or something like that. And they were talking to each other, and then the chief was telling the grandson, son, I have 2 wolves inside of me. The wolves are fighting a battle. One is a wolf, has joy, peace, love, harmony, happiness in them. And the other one is anger, hatred, all the evil things you could think of. That's what it had. And these wolves are fighting a battle. And I fear for this battle. And the grandson looks in consternation and says, Granddad, which one is going to win? And Granddad says, the one I feed. Let me repeat that. The one I feed. If you feed joy, love, peace to the things that you want, then that's what you're going to get out of life. If you feed anger, hatred, or you sow anger, you sow hatred, you sow jealousy, you sow evil things, that's also what you're going to reap. Make sense? Right. So understand that you are responsible for everything that happens to you in your life. And if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you. Like Jack Canfield would always say, nobody can do your push-ups for you. You've got to do your own push-ups. And once you understand that concept, you're going to move ahead in life. All right? You want to stop comparing yourself to others. The grass is always going to be greener on the other side. People are going to be better than you. People are going to look better. People are going to do things that are better than you. And people are going to do things that are worse than you. The people that you want to be like, you study them, you emulate them, you model them, and then you innovate. Put your spice on it, and that becomes you. And nobody else can change that. You are a unique fingerprint. You're one of the so many million sperms that made it. You're the one that made it. You are the one. Let me hear that. Nothing changes until I change. Make that a mantra. Nothing changes until I change. Understand that success is like a combination lock. And if you know what a combination lock looks like, and you have those ones, the digital ones, or the ones with the numbers, and you are twisting the combinations, and it says LOC3. If you know it's LOC3, you can open it all the time. You agree? But if you don't know it's LOC3, you're always going to have a problem opening it. And that's what success is all about. Understanding that everything is like a combination. And then another concept to understand is that difficult is a description of easy things that take a lot of extra steps to perform. Difficult is really easy. Anything that's difficult, if you break it down and chunk it down into smaller portions, it's going to work for you. So the only thing that we need to overcome, and that's the biggest thing, is fear. False evidence appearing real. Fear will always show up. There are a lot of fears that we have. We have what we call the fear of rejection, the fear of abandonment, the fear of failure, the fear of the unknown, the fear of success, and the fear of loss. And all these fears that come up, but the only thing we need to do if we want to get rid of that fear is to understand that anything we do that is new to us, we will naturally feel some self-doubt, and we will always have that problem. The self-doubt, if you allow it to fester, will become fear. So tell yourself in your mind, if I can do it, if I've done it before, I can do it again. But what happens is, initially, whatever you're going to do, you're going to do poorly. And then you get better at it, and then you get better at it. That's why repetition, they say, is the mother of all success. All right? So you want to be able to do it over and over and over again. And fear then starts to disappear. Brendan Burchard calls it the confidence-competence loop. When you do something first, you become a little competent. And because you're a bit competent, you become more confident about it. And then you go and do it again, then you become more competent, and then you develop more confidence. And then you do it again, even more competence and even more confidence. And confidence, competence, confidence, competence. The confidence-competence loop. That's what's going to take you to where you want to go. Another concept to consider, and that's the third thing that I wanted to talk to you about, is the fact that we have to be responsible. We have to take responsibility for the energy we bring into any situation. Let me explain. There's this guy, a philosopher called David Hawkins. He is the author of the book Power versus Force. Very great book. This book is really deep, and he talks about the different vibrations, the type of vibrations that we emit, and the energy that we emit is what we attract back to us. And then he divided this is just a paraphrase, he divided the vibrations on a scale of 0 to 1,000. And everybody who was operating below the vibrations of 500 to 0, that person was resonating with low frequencies. And those low frequencies were the frequencies of anger, hatred, jealousy, you name any negative vibration. And those who were operating from the 500 and above level to 500 to 1,000 were in the frequencies of love, joy, peace, harmony, happiness, and all of that. And it made a huge difference in their lives. And what we understand now is that when they did the survey, they found that the people who are vibrating from the 500 level and above were those who were more successful in life. And I'm talking about a balanced life, because you can make a lot of money, you could be ultra successful in money, but not successful in your relationships or in other areas. But these people were more balanced, those who were operating from the 500 and above level. So it brings me back to talking about the fact that you are responsible for the energy you bring into the room. You are responsible for the vibration that you emit on a daily basis. We know the words to be enthusiastic. The word enthos is a Latin word from Greek, I think, and it means from God, right? Enthusiastic. That's what you're emitting, the higher vibrations. And that's why people resonate to those who are enthusiastic. And to be inspired, the word inspire means in spirit, which means that you are highly inspired. You ever notice that the people you gravitate towards are those who are enthusiastic and those who are in spirit? Inspired? Yes, there's a reason for that. And that's the kind of energy you want to bring into any situation that you have. You're inspired, you're enthusiastic, and you're connected, which means you're in the present moment. That's what you want to do. So how do you stay, or how do you keep that vibration above the 500 level? Let me walk you through a few tips. First thing is, who are the people you surround yourself with? The people you surround yourself with are the ones that are going to hold you back or going to push you forward. You are, already the same. You're the sum of the 5 people you hang around, influentially, financially, in any other area. So just look at your friends and then you know where you are. And you want to be always ahead. Always look for a group that is ahead of you so you can also move along. The next concept you want to understand is always coming from a place of love. If you don't love yourself, you can't love others. So you have to fill yourself up with love and then be able to give love to others. Wayne Dyer talks about love, and he talks about, whatever is inside is what's expressed outside. If you have an orange and you squeeze an orange, what comes out is orange juice. If you have a person and you squeeze the person, what comes out is what was inside of them. So if there's anger inside of them, it's anger going to come out. But if there's love inside of them, it's love is going to come out. So if you put a person under pressure, that's what's going to come out. All right? So always come from a place of love. Practice coming from a place of love on a daily basis, and you will expect your reality to change. All right? Make sense? I hope you're with me. And then the next concept is having an attitude of gratitude. We all know that gratitude plays a role. When you're focusing on the things you're grateful for, you can't focus on the things that are not working for you. And by focusing on those things all the time, of course, the law of attraction kicks in and you attract more of the same to you. So every single day, be grateful for the things around you. And it could be as simple as being grateful for your sight, for hearing, for smelling, for tasting, and for that cup of coffee. And of course, bigger thing, being grateful for the income, being grateful for the new house, and of course, we'll talk about that, seeing whatever you want to see, whatever you want to have happen to you, seeing it first in the mind, and then holding it in the hand. It was Alan Simpson that said, hatred corrodes the container it is carried in. The next concept, of course, is always remembering that hurt people hurt people. So if whatever you put out is going to come back at you. And that's why we talk about forgiveness too. If you don't forgive, it's like holding a hot coal in your hands and expecting the other person to burn. Or like drinking rat poison and expecting the rat to die. Of course, those are the things that are going to happen to you if you don't forgive. That's why you want to forgive. I'm not saying forget, but forgive. The next concept is that of connecting to source, connecting to God, or other names, labels, vortex, source, the higher spirit, all kinds of names we give that higher being. And at the end of the day, when you think about it, they're all one and the same. And once you understand that concept and you understand that the relationship you have with your higher self, with your source, with God, there's that unspoken spiritual thing that happens when you believe. Because you see that feeling when I said, when you believe in yourself so much so, then it's going to happen for you. The next thing we want to talk about is meditation. a higher self. Usually when I have a session with some students and we're talking about things, I ask people, how many of you meditate? And very few hands show up. In the last few years, more hands are showing up, of course, but it's still sort of a new thing. Meditation is, as Wayne Dyer puts it, is God talking to you. Prayer, on the other hand, is you talking to God. So you do both. You meditate and you pray. If you're very religious, you pray. Yes? Also, your gut feeling, the intuitive part of you, is all part of it. Whenever you have that gut feeling, how many times have you said, oh, I shouldn't have done that? Follow your gut. Understand that concept. Follow your gut, because your gut is what will take you to the right place. Inside of us, intuitively, we always know what is right and what is wrong. But it's so overshadowed with all the layers and layers of all our limiting beliefs. We want to get rid of them, get the emancipating truths, so that we can move forward to where we're supposed to go. So of course, there's so many things I could talk about, but let me suffice that by recapping quickly. We have to understand that the first thing, to reframe our thinking, get rid of our limiting beliefs, watch our self-talk, release our negative past. And when we talk about negative past, always remember, sometimes you're so upset with where you are that you want to go somewhere else. The grass is greener on the other side. But remember, when you get to the other side, you're still carrying those thoughts and emotions with you. And when you get there, nothing's going to change, because the thoughts and emotions are like stowaways in your luggage to get to that other side. All right? So understand that. And the second thing was embracing the enemy within us. There's the wolf story. There's the anger, fear, and jealousy and all that. Embrace the enemy. The enemy is you. If you conquer you, you're going to be the worst enemy that you will ever have to defeat. And when you conquer yourself, there's nothing that's ever going to stop you from moving forward. The other part of the second thing is to overcome fear. And how do you overcome fear? By being more confident, taking action, really. When you take action, you overcome fear. You're not there getting into paralysis of analysis and get the snowball effect from self-doubt to fear to panic and whatever it is. You're taking action. Whenever you are confronted with a fearful situation, take action. Sometimes take any action. That's better than staying there and staying stuck. All right? And then you focus on getting the competence, confidence loop, getting out of it. The third thing is being responsible for the energy that we bring into any role. There are more things I'd like to talk about. I could talk about visualization, affirmations. It's like that song you hear singing, because you've been listening to the song, all of a sudden you're in the shower and you're hearing the song. That's what happens with affirmations. And then you start seeing things change for you in real life. Of course, there's so many things I could talk about. Vision boarding, expanding possibilities, planting seeds, planting the right thoughts into your head, journaling, taking meditation to a higher level. Nothing changes until you change. Nothing changes until I change.